for development programs. Malawi Revenue Authority appeals to traders nationwide to adopt the electronic invoicing system and uphold transparency in their tax obligations. And the Reserve Bank of Malawi discloses that the country's pension portfolio has registered 140% growth as of December 2025. And now the news in detail. His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has assured Malawians of his government's commitment to address challenges facing the country and carry out meaningful development programs. Professor Mutharika was addressing thousands of people that gathered at Kamuzu Palace Main Gate in Lilongwe to welcome him upon arrival from the southern region. Charles Wahara reports.
Addressing a huge gathering that welcomed him at Kamuzu Palace Main Gate, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika said his administration has put in place strategies to overcome challenges facing the country, such as fuel and forex. He mentioned the need for people to work hard, saying this is the only way Malawi can develop and address some of its challenges.
On a serious note, mabanko siana asikola pansi ulo kwa America mukabona ma newspaper ngwana kosajira ba tigwizana ndipo drama za kunja ngibwera.
Accompanied by the First Lady Professor Gertrude Mutharika, the President then assured the people of his sound health, defeating rumors claiming that he was flown out of the country for medical treatment.
Ude wafa akudwa afanyiwo bali anyaba pena satfuna zabwino saona kizabwino saona kizoiba dosa wangu na zoiba nyaba pyame watu nyaba bino.
While in the southern region, President Professor Mutharika held a number of meetings with different financial players to discuss the economy and areas where financial institutions can invest in and assist Malawi. During his stay in Blantyre, the president also attended a memorial service for his late brother, Professor Bingwa Mutharika, at Impumulo Wabata in Tyolo, and addressed people at Goliath. Professor Mutharika has called on people of Baila constituency in Lilongwe to vote for ruling DPP candidate in the coming by-election. Charles Wahara, NBC News, Lilongwe.
President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has urged people from the eastern region to vote for Democratic Progressive Party DPP Member of Parliament and Councillor in the forthcoming by-election. President Mutharika made the remarks when he made a stopover at Palula in Balaka on his way to Lilongwe from Blantyre. Beatrice Jomas filed a report.
Speaking at Palula, President Mutharika called on all those who registered in Balaka and Machinga districts to vote for DPP candidates in the 30th June 2026 by-election. The constituencies are Mulunguzi Balaka, Machinga Mikoko and Kanjuli. Professor Mutharika also commended the DPP Vice President for the Eastern Region, Bright Msaka, for the support rendered to DPP candidates who are contesting in the forthcoming by-election.
When you write about some vote and me, but last election, the police over me, not about some vote over my group over me. Give me one. Commence was spoken about government by election. Afunga wili, commence cancer more different ones who think it's made of this region. Yon say kai DPP. Don't you not when the jealous, eh? So I'm going that's why we face with the pay. Come here, face with the pay. If you go on that man, don't say you go up and get up. Come with the person, Tawi. If I don't imagine 6 to Sobano, even a Kazaka 5, you collect our calls that you go, you know. 5 and imagine 6, that's a Kubia. The same salary will go down. When the person, Tawi, what's I get about people that you know, never do want to call up, we know. Come on, so I'm being the son of a put Zippon on the Nintendo, so one way. Civil Mayana, Civil Cabana, and Rossi Bantende, and all son of one be with Zippon now, Fusobano.
Julie Ward fell vacant following the death of Councillor Simplex Diwa, while Machinga Mikoko constituents fell vacant following the death of the Member of Parliament, Jafari Musa. While Mulunguzi constituency, fresh parliamentary election follows the nullification of the previous results by the Supreme Court of Appeal. James Makumula, who is contesting for the parliamentary seat on DPP ticket, was also unveiled during the event. Furthermore, President Mutharika said he is glad that peace is now reigning in the country compared to the previous years when people were living in fear of men with panga knives. Professor Mutharika also said it is pleasing to note that people now have food. The Malawi leader then pledged his continued commitment to recover the country's economy for the betterment of all Malawians.
Minister of Health and Sanitation, Madalitha Valoi, has disclosed that government plans to employ more midwives as one way of improving the delivery of maternal health services in the country. Valoi made the remarks in Mzimba during the commemorations of this year's International Day of the Midwife. Chisomo Manda reports.
This year's International Day of the Midwife was held in Mzimba. The day began with a march from Mzimba District Hospital to Mzimba Airfield. In her speech, the minister commended midwives in the country for the excellent work they are doing despite the various challenges they face in their line of duty. She also acknowledged the need to employ more midwives to further improve maternal health services.
It's one of the biggest challenges that the midwives are facing, low numbers of midwives versus the ratio of mothers that are supposed to help in the hospitals. And as a government, we know that we're going to do something and the numbers are going to increase by 2030. When the president was giving the SONA, you heard that health sector is one of the critical sectors and that we are going to conduct recruitments that will include midwives. And we know with that, the numbers will increase. It means we are also increasing the women that are giving safe birth, women accessing to skilled birth, which is very important for us.
President of the Association of Malawian Midwives, Mumu Delanjili Patos, said he is hopeful that government will indeed increase the number of midwives in the country to add to the over 5,000 currently working in different health facilities in the country.
So the numbers are important, but then the midwives also need to be well remunerated. We are going through very hard economic hardships, so the midwives need to be well remunerated so that they're able to take care of themselves. The working environment needs to have all the necessary resources. So the reaction from the midwives is justified.
In his remarks, Inkosi Amakosi Mbelwa V of Mzimba District said the chiefs have a crucial role to play in advocating for safe motherhood. The theme for this year's commemorations is 1 million more midwives. Somamanda, MBC News, Mzimba.
The Ministry of Health has confirmed the introduction of a new anti-malaria drug to help manage the disease in the country. Program Manager for the National Malaria Control Program, Dr. Lumbani Muntali, has confirmed this in an interview with MBC in Lilongwe. He says the new drugs aim to help address issues of drug resistance, which are being registered in some countries on the continent and will help in the fight against malaria. Beatrice Mape reports.
According to Dr. Muntali, Malawi recorded 5.4 million malaria cases in 2025, down from 9.4 million cases in 2024, representing a 43% reduction. In terms of deaths, the country recorded over 2,000 deaths in 2024, while 1,629 deaths were registered in 2025, representing a 28% decline. Muntali further says cases continue to decline, and from January to March this year, the country has registered 600,000 cases compared to 2 million cases during the same period in 2025. He has attributed these positive trends to the mass distribution of mosquito nets conducted in 2024, among other interventions. Dr. Muntali has also confirmed the introduction of the new malaria drugs called dihydroartemisinin, piperacin, DP, currently being administered in Lilongwe and Nkatabe, which he says will complement the already existing lumefantrine artemether, LAR.
We expect to roll out to more districts. Why are we doing that? Because the studies that are doing, they have found that just using one drug, it can easily develop resistance. Yeah, so there have been resistance to malaria drugs. It started with countries like Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, the Horn of Africa, but it's come down even to Southern Africa here, like Zambia, South Africa. They are also identifying resistance. So because of that, the World Health Organization has recommended that we should not just be using one drug, but we should be using several drugs. So for Malawi, we are using 2 drugs, LAR and DP.
Dr. Muntali says Malawi is on the right trajectory towards eliminating malaria by 2030. He has since emphasized the need for multi-sectoral involvement to ensure the country reduces the malaria burden by 2030.
At the rate we are going, if you look at how we have reduced the cases last year and even this year, there are further reductions. We have got about 3-4 years. If we can sustain these interventions, if we can collaborate, it's achievable. Malaria is not about Ministry of Health and Sanitation only. We need the other ministries. It needs multi-sectoral involvement. So we can achieve.
According to Dr. Muntali, about 1 million children under the age of 5 have received the malaria vaccine. Muntali says the new malaria drugs are expected to be rolled out to other districts soon. Beatrice Mwabe, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Malawi Revenue Authority has called on traders across the country to resume business operations and adopt the electronic invoicing system and fulfill their tax obligations. MRA Commissioner General Felix Tambulasi made the call during a press conference in Blantyre, urging business operators who have been closing shops in protest of the EIS to resume operations and comply with the system. Tambulasi said the EIS is aimed at improving accountability and efficiency in value-added tax administration and is not a new tax. Erlin Chimoy reports.
On the 1st of May, the Malawi Revenue Authority started the implementation of the electronic invoicing system, which is replacing the electronic fiscal devices system, which was there to help in the collection of the value-added tax, VAT. However, since the rolling out of the EIS, there seems to be continued resistance from some business operators on the market. In the press briefing by the Commissioner General of the Revenue Authority, that is Felix Tambulasi, he has made it a point that as MRA, they're not backing down because the system is also an indication of government's move in the right direction in as far as technological advancement is concerned, and it will also help them in as far as tracking the remittance as well as the payment and collection of VAT.
I would like to thank those taxpayers, VAT operators that have already onboarded on the EIS. Those that are remaining to do that, they are few, and I would like to encourage them to onboard on the EIS because there is a law in place, and therefore we have as MRA to enforce the law that is there. I would also like to encourage the traders outside there to open their businesses because, as I said, at the end of the day, we have proceeded, we have rolled out the system, and there's no turning back.
Now, according to Tamblasi, it seems it's only a fraction of the registered VAT operators that are yet to roll out on this new system. Out of the 9,000 registered VAT operators, it is 7,500 that have already onboarded to this new system, meaning that it's only the remaining few that are resisting the system. Hence, their decision to continue with the system to ensure that government is maximizing its revenue collection. For MBC in Blantyre and Sonko House, I'm Eileen Chimoyo.
This is MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika assures Malawians of his government's commitment to address challenges facing the country and carry out meaningful development programs. Malawi Revenue Authority appeals to traders nationwide to adopt the electronic invoicing system. And the Reserve Bank of Malawi discloses that the country's pension portfolio has registered 140% growth as of December 2025. Welcome back. 2026 tobacco sales at Mzuzu floors have opened with about 1,339 tobacco bells on sale, pricing between $300 and $120 per kilogram, $305 and $120 per kilogram. Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation and Water Development, Rosa Fachimbilezi, opened the sales with a plea to buyers to further up their prices. George Mkandawire was at the floors and he now reports.
The market today has started well, with growers expressing optimism. If you look at the average prices that the market is offering, whereby they had around 1,339 bells on offer, both on contract and as well as in on auction market. If you look at the prices are hovering around $1.20, that's on average, and as well as $2.80 on average. This was by Nyasa Tobacco. This is on the auction market, but if you go on contract market, the price is around $3.05, and as well as the $1.40. That's the lowest in terms of the contract market.
Now, looking back to the other two markets, three markets, as I may say, that's Kanengo, that's in Lilongwe, Jinkoma in Kasungu, as well as in Limbi. The concern was that there was a lot of rejection. Most of the buyers were not buying the open auction tobacco. What is the situation there at Mzuzu?
The situation here is quite different because you see, if you look at the rejection rate, much of the those that are being rejected are on the auction market, not on the contract market. And today, a representative of the growers, that's Abel Kumenda, said that they had an engagement with the Minister of Agriculture and as well as the officials from these tobacco buyers, and they have resolved to say that there has to be a change in terms of the rejection rates. And according to him, he said that the figures have dropped for Lilongwe and the Rimbi, as well as the Chinkoma. They said that it was hovering around 97%, but now it's gone down to around 77%. So according to him, he says there is change because they had that engagement, and as well as he's hoping that things will get better as time is passing.
Lastly, if you manage to get hold of the interaction between the minister as she was going through the auction to inspect the auction floors earlier this morning, did you manage to get maybe some of the key issues that she raised looking after the inspection? Yeah, the minister raised a number of issues, and as well as when she was moving around the market, what she was pleading to the buyers is that, please, would you make sure that you're giving these growers a better price, and as well as to make sure that the number of rejected bells or rejected tobacco is reduced. So looking at what these buyers were nodding to the minister, you could see that they're agreeing for
an improvement in terms of the rejection rate and as well as maybe offering prices. Now, if you look at the prices, you do compare that there is change, there is slight change. So, according to the minister, and what she has told these buyers is that there has to be a proper way of making sure that growers get reward from their work. She says, indeed, there are many challenges that the tobacco industry is facing, but would you please make sure that we offer better prices to our farmers so that next time they should be able to grow their tobacco.
The Reserve Bank of Malawi has disclosed that the country's pension portfolio has grown by 140% from 3.5 trillion to 8.4 trillion kwacha as of December 2025. Principal Examiner responsible for pensions, Shamiso Malekano, said this during an interface meeting NICO organized for clients. Malekano observed that the funds have continued to grow, even though there are concerns of lack of diversified investment of the funds. Details in this report by Trust Office.
Despite the positive outturn, Reserve Bank Principal Examiner responsible for pensions, Shamiso Malekano, pointed out that the sector continues to face challenges with employers either underreporting or delaying altogether in remitting pension contributions to pension managers. Malekano has also added that measures are in place to ensure that investment of the funds is diversified, as nearly 80% is invested on the Malawi Stock Exchange.
That one is simply meant to make sure that pension assets are diversified and to manage concentration risk so that we don't expose pension members to the investment risk.
NICO Pension Chief Executive Officer Gerard Chima also highlighted that the funds under NICO's portfolio have registered marked growth in 2025.
We have posted a return of 90% on the full fund. A lot of the pension funds that we manage fall under the full fund, so the return that we have posted there is 90%. We also have a number of employers under the Timasuke pension fund, and for the Timasuke pension fund we have posted 146%.
Apart from the mandatory pension payments, NICO is also offering optional pension premiums for individuals and private companies. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
World Vision Malawi has pledged continued partnership with government in implementing interventions aimed at increasing HIV and AIDS awareness and reducing further spread of the disease. World Vision HIV specialist Butele Zimvula said this in Mangochi ahead of the launch of a year-long project which seeks to promote interventions towards reducing further spread of HIV/AIDS in rural areas. Sotin Ndazi has compiled this report, being read by Owen Mavula.
World Vision Malawi is set to launch an HIV spread prevention project in Mangochi, focusing on reducing new HIV infections among adolescent girls and young women. The project aims to increase HIV and AIDS awareness and combat gender-based violence through support from Global Fund. Speaking to MBC, World Vision Malawi specialist Butele Zimvula said the year-long project is targeting public health facilities around Monkey Bay as outlet source for the interventions.
Here in Mangochi district, we are supporting the district in using some of the sustainable funding mechanisms which might be there, that government can be there to support these initiatives, like responding to HIV by promoting some of the HIV prevention interventions which are there. So like here, would like specifically to focus on the using the health facilities which are public health facilities and not facilities which are being supported by the partners.
In his remarks, Principal Disease Control Officer in the Department of HIV in the Ministry of Health, Matthews Chinyama, commended World Vision Malawi for supporting government in addressing resource gaps in HIV prevention interventions.
We understand that the US government poured some of the resources so they created a gap in some of the facilities. So through World Vision and the Ministry of Health, we are coming in to close those particular gaps. But this will be government-led initiative to make sure that the interventions are sustainable.
The project is part of a broader effort to improve access to HIV services in the Lakeshore district and to ensure that all girls have the opportunity to fulfill their potential.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika assures Malawians of his government's commitment to address challenges facing the country. Malawi Revenue Authority appeals to traders nationwide to adopt the electronic invoicing system. And the Reserve Bank of Malawi discloses that the country's pension portfolio has registered 140% growth as of December 2025. For live news updates, visit our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Ubile Gaisa. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day.
Good morning, and it's time for weather forecast. We are currently still expecting partly cloudy conditions to persist over most areas, accompanied by sunny conditions as well as hot temperatures. This is all due to the influence of easterly air mass coming from the Indian Ocean and bringing in warm and dry air into the country and influencing these dry as well as hot conditions. This is why this morning partly cloudy conditions are persisting over most areas across the country, coupled with fog patches in some areas over the south as well as the northern part of the country. Temperatures are also still feeling mild this morning over most areas in the south, such as Ngabu, Nsanje and Mangochi at 21 degrees Celsius, but it's cool over most areas in the central as well as the northern part of the country. This afternoon, we should expect mostly sunny conditions to persist over the south, the central as well as the northern part of the country. Temperatures are also expected to remain hot over most areas across the country, such as Ngabu and Nsanje, which are being forecasted at 35 degrees Celsius, 30 over Mangochi and Monkey Bay, but warm conditions are expected over a few areas such as Mzimba and Mzuzu at 26 degrees Celsius. I'm Tepwa Kutakumudu. Be wise, be weather-wise.
Something big is coming on NBC. Not what you've seen before. A new force is about to hit the road. Crafted for presence, engineered for power, designed to turn every head before it even arrives. You'll hear it before you see it. You'll feel it before you know it. This isn't just another launch. It's the beginning of advanced broadcasts. Unveiling soon on NBC. Stay ready.
Let somebody shout hallelujah. In my life, I will be done. Is anybody like that here? Let me hear you say it loud and clear.